Crash Bandicoot 4 is headed to the current generation consoles, and old classic PlayStation 2 Final Fantasy 12 will be headed to Xbox Game Pass, and a new controller feature gets discovered. Welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. So we have a couple of things to discuss today, so I'm just going to get right into it. Up first, Crash Bandicoot 4 will be making its way to the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch in March. Now this game is currently playable on the Xbox and PlayStation, but only through backwards compatibility. The current version will obviously have improved 4K graphics. As per Engadget, the next generation console owners can expect more striking visuals when the game is cracked up to the native 4K 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and an upscaled 4K 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series S. Additional features on the new PlayStation includes haptic feedback via the DualSense controllers and an extra guidance by the way of on-screen activity cards. Now I have never played this game myself, but I am a massive fan of the original trilogy, and I don't think there is a single PlayStation 1 owner who have not played any one of these games. Crash Bandicoot 4 is considered a true sequel to the original, so I will definitely be picking this game up in the future. But up next, Xbox Game Pass adds a classic old title to their library. For all of the Final Fantasy fans, you will now be able to play Final Fantasy 12, as this game has been added to Xbox Game Pass. As per comic book, Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers on the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PC and Xbox One have a new classic PlayStation 2 era RPG to enjoy. Tonight Microsoft adds a few new games to the Xbox Game Pass library, including one many might remember playing back in 2006 on their PlayStation 2s. If you own the best selling console during this time and appreciated a good role-playing game, chances are that you have played Final Fantasy 12. If you didn't, you can now play it via Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, or more specifically the remaster of the expanded version of the game. Now Xbox already have an impressive library of Final Fantasy games, so it is good to see that they are expanding on that. This also comes after rumors have been making the rounds that Final Fantasy VII Remake will be making its way to Game Pass. Currently PlayStation has a 1-year exclusivity right, but that will soon be coming to an end, and rumors suggest that the game will hit Xbox Game Pass right after that exclusivity right expires. But then up next, you might have been gaming on the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X for a while now, but today Xbox revealed a secret feature on the controller that most people did not know about. Now this might come in handy for those who uses the Xbox controller on multiple devices. As per Tech Radar, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S controller can memorize the latest PC and mobile device you have synced with, so you can switch back and forth between the devices at will. Now this feature honestly is a game changer if you have been manually syncing your controller whenever you fancy cloud gaming on Android or want to play on Xbox Game Pass on your PC. Now this might not sound like a big deal for most people, because it really isn't, but for those people who have been using the Xbox controller on multiple devices, know that it can sometimes become a nightmare to keep syncing the controller manually. This new feature, or newly discovered feature, is definitely something that can be quite handy. And then lastly, this is just a bit of fun news for all of the Halo fans. Xbox executive Aaron Greenberg is calling on Elon Musk to make the Warthog in Halo come to life. Screen Rant points out that Aaron Greenberg is publicly campaigning for Elon Musk to make the real Halo Warthog. Musk of course recently became the richest man in the world and is the CEO of many companies such as electronic vehicle manufacturer Tesla. The company is currently working on rolling out a new truck known as the Cybertruck, which has a retro future look and in theory has bulletproof glass. This marks the latest chapter in a seemingly affinity of Elon Musk for the gaming community. He might now be ready to bring projects from the virtual world into the real world, and if you haven't noticed by this point, this has been a very slow news day, but I still thought it was just a funny bit of information nonetheless. If there is anybody crazy enough to do something like this, it would definitely be Elon Musk. But on that note, this is where I'm going to end it. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and as always, please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and I hope to see you again soon.